What up, fam? Uncle Pawpaw here. Hey, I got a good one for you. We doing smoked ribs 2 different ways today out on the pit. So don't go nowhere. This is Uncle Pawpaw's Kitchen. Welcome back, fam. All right, so we're talking 2 types of ribs today out on the pit. And what's the difference between what we're gonna do today is we're doing one with our Uncle Pawpaw's pork rub, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, chili powder, all those different seasonings in here. And then the second way we're doing it is we're doing salt and pepper. It's a 1/4 cup of salt, 1/2 cup of pepper in here. Whatever, if you want to make more, just 2-to-1 ratio pepper to salt. And that's traditional Texas seasoning when you go to a lot of the joints, the barbecue joints, in Central Texas, Austin, Lockhart area, things like that. That's what you're gonna get. Now some are going and adding in a little onion powder, garlic powder, but if you want traditional Texas barbecue, salt and pepper. That's all it is. Just put it on there and just let the natural flavor of the meat come through. All right, now the ribs that we're doing these are St. Louis cut. They're a little different than what I normally do. So now on this rib, when you're going to look for a rib, whether it be a St. Louis cut, spare rib, is you're looking for these striations of this white right here. And what this is fat. Now, I told you before, fat is flavorful. So this will render down and it will make for a very juicy, tender, flavorful rib. So that's what you're kind of looking for. You want these striations. Now over here, got some good thick meat. Now anytime I do some trimming, all I do, if I can grab it, I trim it. That's all I try to do. If I grab it, I trim it. If I can't get it up, I leave it. Now these are very thin ribs already, so that's why a lot of times you'll have your ratio when you're doing Texas style, you have more pepper than salt because you don't want too much salt, because with these thin ribs you will over salt it. All right, so on the back side, again, if I can grab it, I trim it. If I can't grab it, I leave it. Now it looks like these here pretty much already had the skirt trimmed. Because normally when I get the spare ribs, that skirt is still there. You want to trim that because if you put seasoning here on top of it, you'll have this skirt will cover up most of this bone and you won't have no rub there. Or if you do lift up the skirt and put seasoning down, put that skirt back down, just a thin piece of meat, what I keep calling a skirt, is then that rub will it won't really penetrate the meat. It'll just sit there and be all splotchy and it won't taste good. So, and if I can grab, some of them just pull off. Now what I always do too is I go ahead and I do pull the membrane off. Just something that I do. A lot of people do. Most of the time in your backyard cooking, you leave it on. If I was doing, like 30 of them, and I would just leave the membrane on. I wouldn't even worry about it when you're doing 30 of them. But if you're doing 1 or 2, go ahead and take the membrane off. I know some don't like it because they say they don't want the meat to fall off and things like that. But if you cook it, right, a lot of times, even if you do leave the membrane on, see how the bones are showing here in these versus down here, same thing here. So whether you leave the membrane on or not, most of the time these are gonna cook through anyway, through the membrane and show. So let me get a paper towel, go ahead and take these off as well. Perfect. So, as you can see, it's off. Like I said, just took that off just so it can penetrate, but like I said, these will come through anyway. So, let's go ahead and let's get the seasoning. All I'm gonna do is just put a little olive oil, or this is garlic olive oil. And just kind of just rub it in. Just as it's a binder. You know, you can use mustard if you want, things like that. So I'm gonna do the back side first. And this here, like I said, is our pork rub here on Pawpaw's Kitchen. Got that in. Perfect. Our salt and pepper. Give it a good shake. Same thing. Perfect. All right. Some of these heavy corns off. All right, now what we're gonna do, just gonna let these hang out. I'm gonna cover them up, put them in the refrigerator, let them hang out while we get to pit up the temperature. Meet you outside. All right, fam. We outside. Man, it is beautiful out here. 70 degrees, a little overcast. I need my green screen talking about weather so I can point to the cities. Man, but it's a beautiful weather out here. Got my dog Betty in the background. What's up, B? She like, man, stop talking to me and get to cooking. All right, so anyway, we got a fire rolling. So we go ahead and put on one of our post oak. And the first one I'm using has got a lot of this loose string, so it's gonna act like kindling and help, help this wood catch fire. Be rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna leave the doors up, let that go ahead and catch, let that fire roar, we close it down. As soon as we get it sitting at 275, it'll take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. As soon as we get it at 275, we rocking and rolling. All right, one thing we missing, you know how I do, we outside barbecuing. Gotta have that old lemon sweet tea. See you back when we put the meat on. All right, fam, ready to rock and roll. Spent about 20 minutes. Temp is purring, ready to rock and roll. But something I wanted you to see is, see how that smoke is clear? That's what you want when you're doing barbecue. If you show up to somebody's barbecue, you do what you want, but I'm just gonna let you know, you show up to somebody's barbecue and you see black smoke, I wouldn't eat that food. I mean, it ain't poison or anything like that, but it's gonna be bitter. That means they haven't cleaned out their pit right. It means they're using old wood, or it could be wet, and it's gonna give a bitter taste to your meat. So when I first started off, it had that white smoke. It was white, and as time goes on, it gets clear, and that's when you know you're at where you need to be. You want that clear smoke where you can just barely see it. That's when you know your pit's clean. You're using clean wood and things like that. So let's go ahead and drop it down. I already got my water pan in here with the water. Just gonna put salt and pepper. Now remember, how you put it down is how it's gonna cook. So I kind of push it in to keep the bone straight. All right, so that's gonna cook. Most likely we're gonna let it on here for about 2 hours. What we really want to do, it could be an hour and a half to two and a half hours. What we really want to see is we want to see that color. We'll go ahead and close it so I can get my temp back up. But what you really want is you're looking for that golden mahogany color for your ribs. That's when you know, okay, it's time to take it off. Go ahead and wrap it. And then you're gonna wrap it and just let it go back in for tenderness. So I'm gonna let this hang out. I got another piece of wood ready. I'll probably throw that on here in about 30 minutes. And I'm gonna come out and spritz it. It's just gonna be water and apple cider vinegar. 2 parts water, 1 part apple cider vinegar. We're gonna spritz them both. Not trying to add any flavor or anything like that. We just wanna keep it moist. Also got the water pan, but we wanna just keep the ribs moist so it can continue to be juicy and tender. All right, see you when it's time to wrap. All right, fam, it's been 2 hours. Open it up, let's take a look. Beautiful, look at that. That is beautiful. Take a look, see, look at that. That is a beautiful looking rib. Take a look at the salt and pepper one. Beautiful. Look at that. You can see the salt and the pepper still sitting up there. Beautiful. Now what we want to do is go ahead and get our wrap on. Spritz. 2. Let's go ahead and put this down. Meat side down. Wrap. Spritz. Back side 2. Put it back down, meat side. And same thing for the other. All right, so we'll let those hang out. Those will cook for about another 2 hours. But I'll come out in an hour just to check it, see what it looks like. All right, see you in 2. What up, fam? So it's been about 2 hours and 10 minutes. See the excitement between, or you hear the excitement between my dog and the neighbor's dog. They just saying what's up to each other. They asking, hey, what your pops cooking? They're like, ribs, you're not getting any. So anyway, at least I think that's what they're saying. Go play. Go play. Go play. Go get them. All right, so anyway, back to it. So these are done. You can see. Bone starting to protrude, sticking out. Don't need to use a thermometer. If you can take it and you can kind of wiggle those bones, then they're done. So this one here is the Uncle Pawpaw seasoning. I just flipped them. This one here is the salt and pepper. Again, see the bone. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and bring them inside. Go ahead and bring them inside. We're gonna let them rest for about 30 minutes, and then it'll be time to eat. Welcome back, fam. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. I took them out the foil that was sitting in all the liquid, saved that liquid, put it in my beans that I'm gonna cook with this, or freeze it for something else. But It'll go good in your beans. But anyway, we had let them rest it right here on the cutting board, just with the foil draped over them, so they kind of, the juices will kind of absorb back in. Just a little bit comes out, and they kind of tighten back up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it because I'm hungry. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start down here. Now this one here is the Uncle Pawpaw's rub, and then down here, this is the salt and pepper. Let's go ahead and get a taste. Start with my rub first. No sauce, straight dry rub. Of course, it's good to me because I created the rub. But my rub's got a little bit spice, not much sugar that you would think with ribs. I really don't do a lot of sugar. It's a lot of savory note, and then just a little heat on the back end. But it goes well with ribs. It just brings out the natural flavor of the rib. Let's go with this salt and pepper. Look at that. Beautiful color. What you get out of them restaurants down in Central Texas look just like that. Man, it tastes just like it. Tastes just like it. Man. Woo. I like both. I do like a little bit more of the savory note that mine's give, but I mean, just this black pepper and salt, man, it's just true in its truest form, and it is delicious. So give it a try. Try both, and then try one with just straight, salt and pepper, and see how you like it. I mean, it's in its truest form. That is Texas style right here. If you're in Texas, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not in Texas and you had a barbecue, you know what I'm talking about. If not, give it a try. I guarantee you'll like it. This is good. It's very good. All right, so I'm Uncle Pawpaw. I appreciate you watching Uncle Pawpaw's Kitchen. All right.